Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast and the YouTube channel. I'm doing something different and it's working and it's awesome and I'm reaching more teachers. So you can watch this episode on YouTube or listen on my podcast, which is really, really cool. Before we start talking about the 5 simple ways to differentiate writing instruction, which is so important, I want to talk about my membership program and just tell you a little bit more about what it entails. So if you go to amandarightnow.com and you click at the top right corner, the button that says membership. So this is $25 a month and you receive so much goodness to make your life easier. You can stop lesson planning. Every month you'll receive reading and writing workshop lessons that are super easy to follow. 1 to 2 pages max, sometimes 3, but they're really, really easy to follow. And these lessons provide everything you need to teach engaging mini lessons and keep your students engaged during work time, and has conferring tips, assessment tools that are editable, Google Slides that are editable, and docs and sheets and PowerPoints, and just so much good stuff. There's also connection with other members. So there are live calls where we get to chat with each other and collaborate. And there's Q&A calls, so you can participate in these calls and ask me questions, ask other members questions. And then every month you'll receive advice and tips on so many topics that you are dying to know more about because you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this YouTube episode. And so we talk about conferring, behavior management, motivation, using mentor text. And what's really, really awesome, so you get your unit the first of every month, but I send it a month in advance. So for example, the September unit is all about reading and writing fiction, but I'm sending it August 1st. So you're going to have the unit a whole month in advance, which is so awesome. So go read more about the membership program. I have a video that shows you exactly what's inside your unit. Go check that out. It is so worthwhile to at least look at it and see if it's right for you and your students, because I'm all about doing what's right for you and your students. So if you already have wonderful curriculum that you follow and a wonderful team, then this probably isn't for you. But if you are looking for engaging lessons, if you're looking for collaboration, then this is definitely for you. Okay, let's get to talking about the 5 simple ways to make sure that you are differentiating your writing instruction. Teaching writing is tough. Differentiating writing instruction is tougher. Student writers have so many varying needs. What do you do when Stephen can crank out a well-organized, thoughtful literary essay in 20 minutes and John can barely write a paragraph? What do you do when Cindy said, these are made up names, by the way, they're ridiculous. When Cindy says she is confused about how to develop a claim and Sarah says she needs help organizing her essay? This situation can be super overwhelming when 30 plus students are demanding your help, or maybe 5 students are and the other 30 are just displaying avoidance behaviors such as distracting others or maybe reading when they should be writing. In this article and in this episode, I'm reading my blog post, by the way, to you right now. So if you want access to this blog post, just go to amandarightnow.com, click podcast, scroll down to 5 simple ways to differentiate writing instruction in the middle school classroom, and you will find access to this post as well. Okay, so I will provide you strategies to remediate these issues and meet the needs of all your students. Is that possible? Yes, it is. So here we go. The first way to differentiate writing instruction is teaching behavior mini lessons. Many secondary teachers believe that writing workshop is for elementary classrooms, or that they just don't have enough time to make writing workshop happen. Well, I'm here to tell you that it can be done, and you should try it if you really want to differentiate writing instruction. Why? The reason I love writing workshops so much is because you can teach students in the moment, meaning you can provide exactly what they need while they work. This is exactly what differentiation is, isn't it? So how? Do 3 things. Follow the schedule, and I'll tell you what the schedule is in a second. Make sure to keep your mini lessons short, 10 minutes max. Make sure to work in writing behavior mini lessons as well as writing skill lessons. So the schedule is mini lesson, 10 minutes. Students practice 20 to 30 minutes. They're writing independently, and you are having conversations with them about what they are doing. And then the share reflection. Okay, you must teach behavior mini lessons because students need to exhibit tremendous independence during the practice time. They need to be independent so that you can do your best having conversations and conferring with individuals and groups so that you can differentiate your instruction. Because those conversations that you're having with students, that is you're meeting them where they are, right? So here are some behavior mini lessons you can teach. How do I live a writerly life? What do I do when I'm done writing? By the way, there are links to mini lessons in this post, so you should go check them out. What do I do when I get stuck? How do I get ideas to write about? I also have a video about 5 ways to build writing independence in your students. And if you become a member, we talk a lot about this. And I have lessons that help students build this independence. So if you want access to those lessons, join my membership program. Okay. The second thing that you need to be doing to differentiate writing instruction is having conferences every day. Carl Anderson, the author of How's It Going, discusses how conferences are really just short conversations with students. It is quite simple, really. Here's how a conference would go. You approach a student and you ask, how's it going? And then you allow the student to tell you what they are working on. Ask probing questions if necessary. Decide on one and only one skill you want to teach that student. Teach the skill as simply as you can. Use a mentor text to show the skill or concept in action. Tell the student you want them to practice the skill then and there, and you'll be back to check up on how they're doing in 10 minutes or so. Make a few notes using your preferred data collection form. And move on to the next student. That's the hard part. And repeat. So I have 2 blog posts about conferring. And so you can click those. And there's also a video about what students should expect when they're conferring. Because you have to teach students okay, what exactly is a conference with your student or with your teacher so that they're prepared? Because you don't want to just go up to them and be like, how's it going? They're going to be like, good. Why are you talking to me? So you want to teach them and have them expect you to be doing this. I also have a chart for you on this blog post. It's called Questions to Expect During a Conference with Your Teacher. So there's a bunch of questions you can ask students, and you want to be really, really transparent and teach students that these are the questions I'm going to be asking. So you need to be prepared with an answer when I come talk to you. Okay, the third thing you should be doing to differentiate writing instruction is design charts based on your students' needs. I create charts based on observations of students during work time and after surveying them by a show of hands during mini lessons. I ask questions like, hey, raise your hand if you know multiple ways to write a lead that will make the reader want to keep reading, or raise your hand if you feel like your article is well organized, or who can name 5 nonfiction text features. If very few students raise their hand, then I know I need to make a chart. Students are usually pretty honest about what they know and don't know. This is especially true if you've done an excellent job building an open, accepting classroom community. And I have a page that I link to in this blog post with a whole bunch of writing charts that you can copy and use in your classroom. Another way to do this is to write a bunch of statements on a whiteboard and have students put a check mark next to it if they feel like they really need help with that thing. And actually, I have a picture of it that I'll add to this blog post later, but sometimes I'll have them do red check marks for this is an emergency. I do not know how to do this. Blue for I really am curious about how to do this. So you kind of can see where are all the red check marks. And so students can just, instead of not raising their hand, it's more anonymous. So you'll get more honesty from them. The fourth way to differentiate writing instruction is using technology tools. There are so many techie writing tools to differentiate your writing instruction out there. I definitely urge you to let students use computers to type if they struggle with handwriting or motivation. And then I have a big list of some awesome website apps that get students excited about writing based on the needs of the student. So, Story Shack. This fun app is for generating fictional story ideas. It provides word count, genre, character type, a prop to use, a starting sentence, and a bonus assignment. So it's pretty fun. Scholastic Story Starter. Students love this cool little tool. By the way, there's a link to everything. There are so many crazy fictional stories students can write with this fun generator. It also is a fun tool to use for like a fun Friday for your students. 30 informational writing prompts. This website has lots of ideas for informational writing articles if individual students are having a hard time coming up with ideas. If students have handwriting issues, Notepad is free. This website allows students to type list drafts directly on notebook paper and then save it to their computer. Google Docs is free. I love Google Docs because students can share their writing with the teacher and other students, and the teacher and the peers can comment with feedback. You can also see the revision history of the students with Google Docs, which is really awesome. You can just click like see new changes and it'll show you this huge list of revision history. iPad note apps. So the cost varies for these, but there are tons of note apps for iPad. Students love using iPads and adore using the Apple Pencil to write notes and drafts. I obtained an iPad and Apple Pencil with a Donors Choose grant. And I have a link to my Donors Choose page, so you can check that out. Students who think they are done could revise using the Hemingway app, which is free. This is a really neat app that highlights super lengthy sentences red and semi-lengthy sentences yellow. Green highlights indicate passive voice. All you have to do is paste your text and follow the directions in the Hemingway app. Turnitin.com. This is a paid website, but it's so awesome. It allows teachers to assign writing tasks and to provide instant feedback with the click of a button. There are pre-designed written comments for everything you can think of, and you can even add your own pre-designed comments. This tool allows students to read feedback and revise all within the same document. SporkForge is free. This website is awesome. It analyzes word and sentence count and looks for repetitive words. If you use this tool, you'll definitely want to teach students how it can supplement the revision process. Okay, and the fifth and final way to differentiate writing instruction is with partnerships. Putting students in partnerships. One of the best ways to advance student writing independence is by allowing students to form writing partnerships. When they have partners they can seek for support, it takes a load off the teacher, right? This frees you to conference with specific students of your choosing and to be more strategic in your choices based on individual needs of students. Many people wonder if you should choose partners or let students choose. It really depends on what you are comfortable with and what your students need. I usually allow students to choose their partner with one caveat. They must be on task or I will choose for them. I find that allowing students to choose their partner has two major benefits. Students are more comfortable getting help with from someone they like, and they are more motivated to be on task with their friends, right? Below, you'll find a couple of videos that can help you in forming writing partnerships in your classrooms. So I made some cartoon videos that you could show your students. They're a little elementary, but who cares? Whatever. High schoolers, middle schoolers, they can deal with it. And I love showing these to my students because they're like, is that you, Miss Werner? And I'm like, yep, I'm the one that made these using Powtoon. Okay, so there's a video called How Do I Have a Writing Conference and How Do I Work with My Writing Partner? And these are on my YouTube channel as well. Okay, let's wrap this up. Meeting the needs of your students is challenging. The truth is, it will always be challenging, okay? Let's just admit it. If you try these 5 strategies I've mentioned, I believe it will get easier. The more conversations you have, the more conversations, when I say conversations, I mean conferences, the more confident you can be that you are doing everything you can to meet your writer's needs and differentiate writing instruction. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast channel, and review it and leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought, and if there are other ways that you differentiate your writing instruction. I would love to learn from you. You've been learning from me. So there are so many brilliant teachers out there that are just working really hard, and they're just so dedicated. And so I want to connect with you. So make sure you leave a comment, email me. I love getting emails from teachers telling me, just what they do in their classrooms or how I've helped them. Thank you so much for listening and watching on YouTube, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.